Well, how y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Brass Knuckles Bible Club. So listen, I've told you in previous episodes that that we weren't just going to be doing, exposés on, like the New Age and stuff. I love all that instructional stuff, breaking stuff down, show you guys, the deception of the New Age, whether it's New Age, witchcraft, false religion, what have you. But like I was telling you in previous episodes, this podcast is all things Bible, okay? And on that note, we have to understand what is going on in the culture. We have to stay up to date with what is going on, politics, current events, world events, okay, things of that nature. And, here's the thing, okay? Here at the Brass Knuckles Bible Club, we don't shy away from anything, okay? We talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about. Religion, politics, okay? The stuff that you're not supposed to talk about. Here's the thing, though, okay? I think the problem is that there's not enough people that are talking about it from a biblical point of view, okay? Now, like I say in all of my other videos, all right, at least I've tried to remember saying it in all of my other videos, I am not a pastor, I am not a professor, I am not a prophet. In no way, shape, or form am I, elevating my experiences or anybody else's experiences that we're going to be talking about here above that of Scripture. This podcast is not substitutionary for going to church or reading the Bible for yourself. You absolutely should read the Bible for yourself, and you should get plugged into a theologically sound church with a theologically sound pastor, okay? And aside from that, okay, everything else in this podcast is purely for entertainment purposes only. Now that we have that out of the way, okay, as you could probably see, this is a little bit of a different setup right here, okay? Took me a while to get it down. This is an entirely different system that I'm used to recording on. This is an entirely different flow, okay? You'll notice up at the top, you'll see brass tacks, okay? Like the saying, hey, let's get down to brass tacks, all right? It's also kind of a clever jingle, play on words. Obviously, Brass Knuckles Bible Club. Up in the upper corner, okay, you're going to see my socials info. All right. So this is going to be plugged in on every single one of these videos that I do. I'm Brass Knuckles Bible Club and just about every social platform that I have. Brass Knuckles Bible Club on YouTube, Brass Knuckles Bible Club on Rumble, Brass Knuckles Bible Club on TikTok, Brass Knuckles Bible Club on X. And, if you feel led to give or you're feeling generous, listen, even $1 helps. As you've probably heard in previous episodes, I'm not exactly a doctor. I'm not rolling in the dough. So all of this is on my own time, my own dime. So any little bit helps, $1, even $1, But here's the thing. I put it up there if you feel so inclined, but I'm not going to beg you for it. All right. But as you can see up at the top of the title, this is the brass tacks. This is going to be a new segment of the show. This is going to be a regular segment of the show where we go over real events, real drama, real problems, real reactions, okay, and real breakdowns, okay? So without further ado, obviously, if you're looking at your screen, you can see that right there is Karmelo Anthony, okay? I've waited a while to talk about this just because, as like with anything else, I like having all the information whenever it comes out. So we're going to play this clip right here, okay? And then I have another clip to go over. And this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. And the other reason why I like doing this is because we don't have to wait 2 weeks for an hour long, hour and a half long episode to come out. I can do this stuff pretty regularly. And those longer episodes, you guys watch them at your leisure. Okay. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, let's get down to brass tacks.
To the crime. Now, he also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Our Fox 4 Dallas team has been covering all of the information here. Alex Boyer has the latest.
In that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that the suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I
First of all, this didn't need to happen. This didn't need to happen. There's people arguing from all over sides, and they all sound completely foolish. This didn't need to happen. There's no claim for self-defense here. They can't say, well, it was raining and that's why he had to go over this tent. So, again, I'm going to recap this. So, essentially, there was a track meet. Austin Metcalf was sitting under his tent with his teammates, and Karmelo Anthony was from another school, comes over, sits under their tent. Austin says, hey, you can't sit here. He goes, I don't care. Right. I don't know if he said I don't care regardless, but basically to the effect of is that I'm not going anywhere. Right. Austin Metcalf goes to get him out of the tent, right? Grab his bag, put it out of the tent. And this other kid says, touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens. So I can tell you right off of the bat, okay? Number one, you are putting yourself into a position where essentially, okay, if Austin Metcalf, if both of them wanted to go to fisticuffs, this is essentially where you are putting yourself into the position in what we call mutual combat, meaning you're challenging me to a fight. If I decide to take you up on that challenge, okay, if you and I get into a fist fight and I beat the snot out of you and you lose, you can't turn around and claim battery. You can't say, oh, he battered me, he did this, or whatever, he punched me in the face. Because the first thing that now, again, to a much, much lesser degree, I'm talking about fist and fist, mano a mano, I'm talking about a scrap, right? Officer's going to get there and go, okay, you got a bloody face. You have busted up knuckles. What did you say? What did you say? Oh, well, I told him, touch me and see what happens. Okay, what did you say? Well, I touched him. Battery's an unintentional touch or strike. You're inviting it. You're instigating it. It's not a battery. So that's number one. Number two, why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? This isn't Compton. I mean, maybe this isn't the best area in the world, but why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? Why are you bringing a knife on school campus, period? Period. Anyway, we're going to continue on with the video, but You can't turn around and instigate a fight and then try to claim that it's self-defense when the fight comes your way. Now, granted, whether he pushed him, whether he shoved him, whatever, okay, you can't do that. It does not work that way. Granted, it's Texas. It's not Florida. I understand. But the laws are even more stringent in Texas. Well, it's debatable. I don't know. Florida's kind of like the Texas of the East Coast, but it's like the Wild West over here, man. But yeah, you can't do that. And you can't just turn around and say, well, I told him, see what happens. And then he touched me, because you also have to meet force. You have to meet force with reasonable force if you're to defend yourself. You can't push me and then I take out a crowbar out of my truck and beat your head in. That's not self-defense. And this isn't hard. This kid messed up. This kid messed up, man.
I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens."
Stupid. Stupid. That is a dumb thing to say. It's not going to look good for the young man.
Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was it's just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer.
Is that reasonable? Who just stabs people? That's depraved. That's psychopathic. You just plunge a blade into somebody's chest. That's Looney Tunes, dude.
Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that, "I was protecting myself."
That's not protecting yourself. That's not protecting yourself. That's murder. Again, if I'm walking in Publix and some guy walks past me and shoulder checks me, and I pull out my gun and I shoot this dude in the throat, that's not protecting myself. That is murder. It's not the appropriate level of force.
And then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Metcalf died in his brother.
You just stabbed him in the chest. Is he going to be okay?
There's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
In a statement released by the Metcalf family this afternoon, they say their focus is now on laying Austin to rest. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Alex Boyer, Fox 4.
Okay, so he's since been released, and there's been a whole host of issues with this stuff. So the judge that was in charge of his bond knocked it down. That made a lot of people pretty upset. Then they made a GoFundMe, which I believe was shut down. And then after that, they turned around and made a Give, Send, Go. Raised a bunch of money, and then people are everybody's got their panties in the wad because they're thinking that, okay, well, they're saying that they're raising it for their defense fund, but really what they're doing is they're rolling around in a new Cadillac. They bought a new house. And, here's the other thing again, like I was saying from this kid. This kid was not brought up in the hood, okay? We're not in the ghetto. Like, this kid lives in a gated community. His parents are very well-to-do. It looks like they're very respectful people. Like, this isn't O Block. This isn't Compton. This isn't. Not that excuses bringing a knife or a gun to school anyway, but at least that would be more commonplace. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane. You bring a knife to a track meet, and some guy says, hey, you need to get your stuff and you need to go to another tent, and then you stab him in the heart. You plunge a blade into this kid's chest, and then you run away. I don't know what's going through that kid's mind. I mean, doesn't sound like he has the greatest record. Looked into that too. And so inevitably, all this stuff brought up another issue, okay? So there was this other lady, Shiloh Hendrix. She's got everybody pretty upset as well. I'm just going to play it if you're not familiar.
She was going to deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down.
Here's the weird thing about this guy. This guy is not supposed to... Okay, so if you guys didn't read all that, or you guys don't know what this is or what this is talking about, so essentially there was a lady that was at the park with her kid. Then apparently this other kid, black kid, comes up and I guess starts rummaging through her stuff. And then there's this guy. I don't know how he's related to anything at all, but this dude's on a registry. This dude's not allowed to be anywhere near kids. If you smell what I'm stepping in here. But somehow this dude was at the park, okay, and then just so happened to catch us on film. Not that it's weird, it's just, why are you even there? And again, not saying like, oh, he shouldn't have been there, and that, if he wasn't there, then this wouldn't have gotten captured. I'm just saying this dude doesn't need to be around kids playing, okay? But he was. Whatever. So he captures this incident where essentially this lady calls this little kid the N-word. Okay. And here's my thing. Okay. This is going to be spicy. People aren't going to like this, but it's the truth. Okay. You shouldn't say that at all. That's not a very nice thing to do. It's not a very Christian thing to do at all. Here's the thing, though. I get that everybody's upset about what she said to the kid and her saying it to the guy in the camera and all that other stuff. Here's the problem. That's a word. That's a word. There are some people that are basically retroactively stating that, you know, they're basically saying that the Austin Metcalf incident essentially is justified because of, you know, white racism. Listen, dude, I know that I guess you can't say it in 2025, but here's the thing. I have to practice this daily. I work in a job field where people are allowed to say whatever they want to me. First Amendment. They can tell me to go F myself, F you, F12, F and pig, F this, F you, F your mom, F your wife, F your kids, F that, you know, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And you know what I have to say? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. Sorry you feel that way. Have a nice day. And you know what? I have to eat it. Why? Because I can't just take out my nightstick and start beating people because they say, hey, pig, or hey, what, you know, hey, F12, when obviously they're talking about me. It's F911 and you, okay? F12. All right. I got to just take it on the chin. Serve and protect. I'm a servant, right? I'm still a person. It still bothers me. Yeah. After a while, you know, people feel like they can just talk. It's crazy. Back in the 90s, people would not talk to the cops the way that they talk to them today. Not at all. But everybody feels so emboldened. And you know what? At the same time, you know, I kind of agree with it. I get it. Yeah, it's the First Amendment. You ain't got to like me. You got to listen to a lawful order, right? But that's a nasty word. Now, granted, this lady's been doxxed. This lady's been threatened. Do I think that she deserves to, you know, be unalived? I hate saying that. The only reason I'm saying that is because I'm putting this up on YouTube too, because they don't like when you say the word kill, right? But do I believe that she deserves to be, you know, unalived because she said a nasty word to a kid? No. I think that's completely ridiculous. And it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. You can't equate the two. But the only thing that is evident though is that people are really mad. People are really mad and really split on this Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf thing, and also on this Shiloh Hendrix thing. People are really split on the fact that, you know, Karmelo Anthony killed this kid, and then his parents raised all this money, you know, and whether it's going to his defense or not, I don't know. I couldn't see that it would I don't know how they're going to use it for his defense, because I don't know what there is to defend. I don't know. Bro, you have got an uphill battle defending yourself against this. I have no idea how you're going to do it. But you know, people are very questionable about whether or not they think that they're actually going to appropriately use these funds. And you know what? You know, I get it. I understand it. People are mad. And on the flip side of that, people think that you can just drop the N-bomb and then all these other people are going to come to, all these other people are essentially going to come and pay off your house. I mean, can't be that easy, right? You know, but it just seems like people are just picking teams, and it's, you know, what team are you on? You know, are you on team white or team black? Are you on? But this is the sad binary that, like, that's not what's going on here at all, and nobody sees this stuff. And listen, when it comes to Here, I'm going to finish playing this because I've been running.
And even triple dunk now.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So again, so this is the thing, okay? That lady's like the most hated lady in the US right now. Everybody just needs to chill, okay? Because look, all right? Got a few things that we need to go over, all right? When it comes to Karmelo Anthony, we have to pray for this kid. We have to pray for his family. We have to pray for Austin's family. And understand that even if you think justice is not going to be served because of the justice system, okay, and its obvious brokenness, you need to remember a couple things, all right? Ecclesiastes 3:17, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. Okay? So whether or not you think that Austin Metcalf or this other chick gets justice, that belongs to God, and he will judge. He will render his judgment. Next up, we have Romans 12:19. Do not take revenge. Okay. And this is, look, okay. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay. And everyone needs to cool their jets. Okay. All the white people getting riled up need to cool their jets. All the black people getting riled up need to cool their jets. All the Republicans need to cool their jets. All the Democrats need to cool their jets. Everybody needs to cool it. Okay. Romans 12:19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord. Okay. Now, as far as the situation itself regarding Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony, all right, there are 6 things that God hates, and one of the things that he hates is the shedding of innocent blood. Okay, let's make no mistake about it. That's not self-defense. That is murder. That is murder. Full stop. Okay? Remember, like I said, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. All right? Listen, all this stuff is just evidence that everybody is so stuck in black and white. Everybody is so stuck in red and blue. Everybody's stuck in all these teams. And what they don't see what's going on right now is that this is evidence that there is a lot of spiritual warfare that's going on right now. A lot of spiritual warfare. Okay? But everybody needs to cool their jets. Everybody needs to calm down. Okay? And we need to remember the words of Paul and Jesus. Romans 10:12, there is no distinction between Jew or Greek, for the same Lord is the Lord over all, abounding in riches for all those who call on him. Okay? Listen, we're all brown. It's just what shade of brown are you? That's all that it really is. And this is why I don't get sucked up into this whole race thing. It's stupid. And maybe I'm just a little bit different, man. You know, in the military, like, dude, we were all green. We were all green. I didn't think to myself, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my black friend tonight. Or, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my Chinese friend tonight. Or, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my Hispanic friends tonight. Dude, we were all one unit. We were all brothers. We all wore the same camis. We all flew the same colors. And we all had each other's backs. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to have his back because he's black. What? Or he's white. Really? Because you might find yourself in a pinch where you're going to have to rely on that white guy or that black guy. This is why this stuff it doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. It is. It's dumb. Anyone that's always focusing through race, through the lens of race, whether you're black or whether you're white, if all you look at is somebody's melanin or the lack thereof, and that is what you use to judge them by, you are dumb. You're dumb. And dumb people come in all different shades. They come in all different size, shapes, models, and shades. Dumb people, they come from all different shades. Black, brown, yellow, white, all different shades. If that's how you see the world, you're dumb. And you need to repent. It's not a good metric to judge people by. Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free man, that is neither male nor female, for all of you are one in Christ Jesus. Seems pretty evident to me. Romans 12:18, and this is important. Okay? So I'm talking to everybody. This isn't just for white listeners or black listeners or brown listeners or yellow listeners. This is for everybody. Romans 12:18, if at all possible, so far as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. All men. That includes black men and white men and Hispanic men and every other shade of men. Men being the plural, as in male and female. Okay? If at all possible, so far as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. But here's the finer point, and here's what everybody needs to understand here. And this doesn't just go for Karmelo Anthony or this other Shiloh chick, okay? Whether this kid repents or not, he will face judgment. And so will you. Hebrews 9:27, for it is appointed once for a man to die, and then after this, the judgment. This kid will be judged. Shiloh, this other chick, okay, she will be judged. Every useless word that comes out of her mouth will be judged. You know who's also going to be judged? Me. And you. John 10:10, guys. I've said it numerous times. The enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But here's the thing, okay? I'll say it. I said it numerous times. I'll say it again. This isn't self-defense. This is murder. And this is not random. Here's what I mean by that. This is evidence, okay, that there's intense spiritual warfare that's going on. You can feel the tension rising in the nation right now. This isn't black versus white. This is right versus wrong. And it's sad. Because just like Jesus said in Matthew 24:12, because lawlessness is increased, the love of many will grow cold. We're supposed to love our brothers. And love our neighbors as ourselves. This is not loving our neighbor as ourselves. And it's dumb. It's dumb. And you want to know how you defeat this? Go outside. Go shopping. Go shopping. Go walk around. Normal people aren't like this. And that's on both sides. Okay? 99.9999% of white people don't act like that chick. Okay? 99% of black people don't act like that. And don't just go around stabbing people. That's dumb to think that. Either way. We need to pray for this lady. We need to pray for Karmelo Anthony. We need to pray for Karmelo Anthony's family, because I'm telling you, this kid's probably going to jail for a very, very, very long time. This kid's life is ruined. His life is ruined. This kid, Austin, his life is gone. But Karmelo, his life is ruined, dude. Whatever future that kid had is toast. From one awful, stupid decision. Done. This kid's done. He's cooked. This kid is cooked. And his family, I feel bad for his family too. But everybody else that's trying to capitalize on this, I've seen a lot of reaction videos on both sides. I've seen it from white reactors, black reactors, white racists, black racists, okay? And people that are openly calling for violence on the other race. Listen, shut up. Shut up. Okay? Everyone needs to cool it. If it is possible, so long as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. And understand this, if you're perpetuating this stuff, I don't care what color your skin is, you're the problem, not the solution. Anyway, guys, like I said, this stuff's kind of heavy, but you know what? We're going to be reacting to a lot of stuff like this. That's essentially the brass tacks. Is what it is. Sad. It's sad, man. It's sad. But anyway, listen. If this is your first time hearing it, just remember, like I said, one day you will be judged too. And you're going to be judged on whether or not you put your trust and your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. The real Jesus Christ. In John 14:6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father except through me. Period. And you don't know when you're going to go. We are but vapors in the wind, as clearly evidenced here in this tragedy. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to get down to brass tacks? Are you going to square what needs to be squared with God? And are you going to submit to Him? Or are you going to play the waiting game? The choice is yours. I'll be coming at you guys soon with another reaction video. This is is the Brass Tacks. Raw Reacts. Y'all have a good night.